I just kind of have a bit of a desire to discuss some two things essentially. Something called cosmogony and abiogenesis. Cosmogony is the study of the origin of the universe, or how the universe came about, and abiogenesis is kind of confused with evolution, because evolution is thought of as a theory of how species adapt and evolve throughout time, as well as how it went from being inorganic, non-life beings into there being life here. But the idea, the study of how it came from life, it came from non-life beings to life. That's abiogenesis. That's the study of how we get from non inorganic to organic and things that eventually have life. And I want to discuss these two things, cosmogony and abiogenesis, with respect to the theories of two sides. Of there's this, in my opinion, there is a debate as to whether there is the dichotomy between theism and atheism, but in my opinion, there is. But over here on theism, you got creationism, which is one explanation as to how the world came about, and you have basically creationism, and then you have just most theism is going to explain as to how a certain god or gods created the world, and that's how the world came about. And the 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 religion has got that's going to explain how it went from non-life to life. Also, over here on atheism, the belief in the lack of belief in a god, which is, it's a negative negative philosophy, negative idea, which is the lack of belief in any sort of deity. And over here you have evolutionism, and you have the idea of the Big Bang Theory and such, and then you have various scientific theories as to how such and such happened. So over here you have lots of science. But what is not always thought about is that over here on theism and creationism, there is a lot of science here too. But what I'm really trying to discuss here is that both sides are trying to assume superiority over the other theory. Theism is trying to claim superiority, is trying to claim that their theory is superior to the atheist theories, and the atheists are trying to claim superiority over the creationist theist theories. And first of all, I think that there's a wrongdoing of methodology here as to how we're going about this. I myself am on the creationist theist side. However, I'm not going to tell you that your evolutionist, all of your atheist, all that stuff. I'm not gonna look you in the face and say what you're believing is untrue. If you try to argue to me the Big Bang Theory or abiogenesis, as to how we get from non-life to life, or if you're gonna argue to me evolution, I'm not gonna say, you know what, you're wrong. I just don't. That's wrong. I'm not gonna say that to you because I don't know that. I'm going to say that is a possibility. That is a possibility. However, you have yet to prove to me that it happened. What you have proved to me is that that's possible to have happened. Creation is the same. There are lots of hypocritical creationists that are going to assume superiority over the atheists and say, no, this happened. What you're saying is BS. And a lot of creationists are not going to try even, or they won't even try to look over your theory at all. There will be no attempt to even try and see some logical truth in it, or even try to see if your argument is valid or sound. There's both sides. It's not just the creationists who do this. It's the atheists who will try to say, like, no, this is bullshit. There's nothing to it. So that's what that's a in my opinion, this is a falsity of methodology. This is not how we should be going about it. Because in my opinion, both positions require a bit of faith, I guess. Not faith, in the sense of the theistic faith in a deity, but faith that what you believe is true. And faith, it has a lot of religious connotation, and I'm not trying to use that in both instances. Over here on the theist side, yeah, there's that religious connotation of belief in a deity, of that faith in a deity. However, over here, what has not happened, what the atheists and the evolutionists and the Big Bang theorists have not done, they have not been able to prove that all these things happened. Just as the creationists have not been able to prove that God created the world. They believe that, but they have not even been able to prove that it happened. The creationists have lots of problems to prove that it's possible, but lots of them have done good work in that. But there's been a really great amount of science over here on the atheistic side, which has done some good proof of evolutionism, abiogenesis, and Big Bang Theory. They have proven that it is possible that those things could have happened. But they assume superiority over the creationist theories because they believe that they have proved that it did happen. I'm not saying that all of them have, but some have, and lots of atheists do this. And I'm not trying to say that it's on both sides, but I think that both sides are level. I think they both have things that they have not proved that it happened. Both sides have proved things that could have possibly happened, but neither side has proven really anything. Well, not barely anything that it happened. They've proven that it could have, but not that it happened. Over here, the atheists and the evolutionists have proven that species adapt, and thus you could, to some extent, use the term evolving. But all that has been proven by the biologists in that camp is that there was adaptation, but nothing has been really proven that a therapsid evolved into the mammal and reptile. So, but I guess over here I want to just kind of discuss a couple things that the atheists are discussing about cosmogony and abiogenesis as well. As the the evolution and such. First of all, I'd like to talk about the Big Bang Theory, which is the theory as to how we get something from nothing, or a universe rather than a void. Now, first of all, physicists and astronomers and astronomers have proven that the universe had a beginning. Both sides believe this, that the universe had a beginning. And one explanation is the Big Bang, and it's not some explosion, but rather a small condensation of all these, of a lot of things that have started to expand. And so the things that contribute to that theory as to how everything comes to be is that it's stating that the universe, the Hubble telescope, has been able to see that parts of the universe are expanding and are moving away rather than closer to. So that has been shown, and it has been shown that there are lighter elements that could have allowed for that to happen, as well as lots of other scientific things that contribute to the Big Bang Theory. So, in my opinion, the scientists who are doing experiments on the Big Bang Theory have proven that it was possible that this could have happened. That it was possible, not that it happened. It's been proven that it's possible. So, as a theist, creationist, I'm not saying that that didn't happen. I think it's very possible that could have happened. There is things pointing to the possibility of that happening, but I just have not seen any proof as to that it happened. Second would be the abiogenesis, the scientific theories as to how we get life from non-life, and that when you study that, you're going to look at things like the period in the world after the crust hardened, because there was a period where the crust was molten, and then it hardened, which that was where the life kind of began. And there's ideas of life happening due to vents in the sea, and the sea being very acidic, and it being little oxygen droplets in these rocks, and there's lots of buildups of amino acids and such like that building up, and then you have that, and then almost building up to that adenosine triphosphate ATP, which is a building block of life. So that is one explanation. And there's the primordial pool, which, following the period where the crust was molten and having it been hardened, having this acidic sea, this primordial pool having certain materials in it. If you look this up, you can find that very. I'm not even explaining it that well. I'm just trying to give a brief explanation of this primordial pool, as well as the vents and such. And it's just, again, what is proven in both the vents in the sea as well as the primordial pool is that there's these building up of various materials, carbon and such, leading to leading to an organic kind of material, which thus leads to a kind of spark of life in this primordial pool. So if you look that up, you will find that this has a lot of possibility to have happened. So I'm not saying that didn't happen. I think it's very possible that could have happened. But one thing that the atheists try to assume superiority in their theory, because they're saying that this is theory, there's evidence for this, when really among the abiogenesis of the atheists and the cosmogony of the atheists has not been really proven that it happened. It's been proven that it could have possibly happened, but not that it happened again. And that's their plight for trying to assume superiority in their theories. So it's pretty much they assume this kind of they assume this stance where, I look at science. This is the science. This isn't philosophical hand waving. This isn't belief in a dogma that does not exist. This is science. This is hard science. That's the kind of plight that stance that they take. That because they're taking, real hard science, that they're better, I guess. When there are creationists who do use science, and all that they've really proven is that it could have happened, not that it happened. So, in my opinion, the theories are level. They are neither one of them has gained superiority over the other. Let me know what you think about this.